Brittany Bateman is a great addition to Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and let me tell you why. For example, when Bronwyn brought up that awful message that Jared Osmond had left her, that completely shocked Brittany, and she was like, I would never condone that, and we are not together. To which the Bravo editors ruthlessly put on screen editor's notes. Since the reunion, they've gone Instagram official again. Is it wrong that I love a housewife with a little Delulu energy? Also, at the end of part 3 of the reunion, when all the ladies are saying something nice about each other and the camera pans to Brittany, who says this.
I should be out there. What am I doing?
And I couldn't find a video on this part, but Queens of Bravo got a screen grab of it, thank goodness, because the camera panned back to Brittany again, to which she was like, I want some nice stuff said about me too. That's not fair. Brittany is unapologetically Delulu, and I love it, and I'm here for it. But now that the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City season is over, what do you guys think? Do you want Brittany to come back next season? Because I do. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Blake Lively should have never called Taylor Swift her dragon. Taylor Swift is reportedly on the outs with Blake Lively, and do we blame her? TMZ reports that Taylor Swift felt like she was used by Blake Lively in her war with Justin Baldoni, and she resents Blake calling her one of her dragons and leveraging her name. As reported in Justin Baldoni's lawsuit, there was a critical meeting at Blake and Ryan's New York City penthouse with Justin to discuss a scene that Blake had rewritten for It Ends With Us, the rooftop scene. Justin said in the meeting got super heated and he felt ambushed because Ryan and Taylor Swift showed up. Sources say Taylor believes Blake timed her meeting with Justin so that Taylor would arrive before he left, and is baffled by Blake later characterizing her as her quote-unquote dragon. The source adds, it's weird to say that about a friend. This is the text where she referred to herself as Khaleesi and called Ryan and Taylor her dragons. The reason this is such a big fallout in their friendship is because Taylor is the godmother to one of Blake and Ryan's kids. Of course, Blake's source says that their relationship is not strained and that the two still talk regularly. Of course, with everything coming out, it's so hard to believe anything that comes from Blake or Ryan's camp. Another source close to the situation said that Taylor was pissed about the extent to which she was involved, and specifically she was angry about the dragon's remark, but Blake has since apologized. They had a good cry and hugged it out. And remember during the press tours for It Ends With Us, where young Lily said that Taylor Swift helped cast her character? Well, apparently one of the sources close to Taylor said that never happened. I don't know, if I were Taylor, I would feel weird about having my best friend leverage my name to get what she wants in the industry. It just doesn't sit right with me. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Apparently T-Rav is running for governor of South Carolina. I'm Kajal Dashi. If you love Bravo like I do, hit the follow button for more stories. Thomas made the announcement on his X account, writing, I'm running for governor of South Carolina, and none of the lightweights currently in the race are going to stop me. I have a message that's going to change not just South Carolina, but the entire country. This is the 4th time he's running for public office. He first ran in the Republican primary race for a seat in the U.S. Senate in 2004 and was later fined $19,500 by the Federal Election Commission for improperly filing reports for the failed bid. Then went on to serve as South Carolina's treasurer in 2007, a position that lasted all of 5 months before he was indicted by a federal grand jury for conspiracy to possess with intent to distribute less than 500 grams of cocaine. He ended up spending 30 days in an Arizona rehab and pled guilty to conspiring to buy and distribute less than 100 grams of coke, for which he was sentenced to 10 months in federal prison. I don't think the 4th time is going to be the charm, but I also don't take this man seriously. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Yeah, so this is happening. Apparently these two made out again over Super Bowl weekend in New Orleans, and both of them caught up and did interviews about each other. I'm Kajal Dashi. If you love pop culture and Bravo as much as I do, hit the follow button for more stories. Brianna did her interview with Page 6, and I'll show you that in a moment. Wes did his interview with reporter Adam Glynn. He told him, I'm not dating her, we're hanging out. I think we made out last night, so it's cool and it's good. Here's the full clip.
Speaking of dating, the rumors are you and Brianna. Anything to comment on that or what?
No. I mean, I'm not dating her.
Are you just hanging out?
Yeah, we're hanging out, all here inside. I felt like, no, I am not dating her.
But is it romantic or is it just friendship?
I think we made out last night, so.
Okay.
Yeah, well, it's cool, it's good.
Is there potential for a romantic relationship here?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. I've just been, Super Bowl. I've been thinking about who's going to win the game, placing my bets.
Right.
I haven't had time to think about Wes.
Right. At all.
No.
I still can't believe Wes fumbled Ciara, but what do you guys think about this? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Lisa Rinna and Harry Hamlin are starting their own podcast, and I've got to say the name is pretty iconic. It's titled Let's Not Talk About the Husband. The podcast name is a play on this iconic line from Kim Richards, let's talk about the husband. It was from that dinner from hell in Amsterdam. Graham from season 5. The podcast is premiering with Dear Media this Friday, Valentine's Day. And in a joint statement, Lisa and Harry said, "We're so excited to join the Dear Media family and finally bring this podcast to life. After 30 plus years together, some more fabulous than others, we've seen a lot and we're ready to dish on everything from marriage and family to friendships, business, and fame." I will say, I do love the cover art. What do you guys think of this news? Are you Lisa Rinna fans? Will you be listening to this podcast? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Euphoria is finally beginning production for season 3 today. The official Euphoria account on X posted this behind the scenes image, what looks like Rue, aka Zendaya, playing her character, and I couldn't be more excited. The last time we saw this show was February 27th of 2022, so 3 years ago. And the reason for the big delay in seasons is because production had to stop everything during the 2023 WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes, as well as the passing of one of their main characters, Angus Cloud. It'll be really interesting to see what season 3 is going to be like. I remember reading a few articles that said that there may be a time jump, which honestly would make the most sense because I feel like it would be weird if we just picked up right where we left off when it's been 3 years since we've just seen the finale of season 2. I know I'm excited for this 3rd season. I'm excited to see what has happened with Rue's character, and of course everybody else's. Are Cassie and Maddie even still friends? But it's also been a long time, so it's going to be really interesting to see how they execute this. What do you guys think? Are you looking forward to the show coming back? Let me know what you think in the comments. We've got more Southern Charm tea. I'm Kajal Dashti. If you love all things Bravo like I do, hit the follow button for more stories. Shout out to Bravo Breaking News for catching this Demois blind and posting it over the weekend on Instagram. She posted this anonymous screenshot from Demois that said, "Sally Carson and Craig Conover in NYC at Nobu having dinner." This isn't that far-fetched because at the end of last week, the whole cast was in New York filming the reunion for Southern Charm. Oh wait, it gets kind of messy because now JT has entered the chat and he said, "Makes sense." Now I have no idea if JT is just being messy, if he's upset at maybe whatever went down at the reunion. He did leave the show before it started airing the season, so it's kind of crazy to me that he is so vocal now when he didn't really finish out the confessionals for the season that's airing right now, so find that really weird. Don't get me wrong, I don't think there's anything weird about them getting together. If they end up becoming an item, or even if they start hooking up, it's not that weird. He's single. He can do whatever he wants. What do you guys think? Do y'all ship them together? I actually think they're really cute. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Secret Lives of Mormon Wife star Jennifer Affleck is pregnant with her 3rd baby. And I guess this news is just a little crazy because she's been posting really cryptic posts onto her Instagram that made people think that there was something going on between her and her husband, Zach. Of course, as viewers of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, we saw the 1st season. We saw the kind of awkward relationship these two have. There was a power dynamic at play. She comes from a less wealthy background than he does, but she is the breadwinner of their family, being a TikTok star and now a reality star on Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. People magazine made the official post on Instagram writing, "The Affleck family is growing. The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives star is pregnant, expecting her 3rd baby with husband Zach." Of course, some of her co-stars are already commenting, like Jesse and Macy, both writing hearts, so cute, Michaela as well. All I can think is season 2 is going to be so interesting. What do you guys think about this though? I know a lot of people are not fans of Zach, but she seems happy, and if she's happy, we should be happy too. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Lisa Rinna was a guest on Andy Cohen's SiriusXM podcast, and she had to apologize to him on air for calling the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills the Titanic. She went on a podcast a week ago called the Gay Ass Podcast, and that's where she made those comments about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So before I show you the apology she gave Andy Cohen, let me give you a little refresher into the comment she made.
Interesting. There's rumors that LVP might be coming back. I'm just
I heard that.
Yeah, I'm just so interested in what that strategy would be.
They're always looking to save it. They know it's the Titanic. I'm just going to say it. We all know it's the Titanic. And so I would imagine that they are courting the out of her right now, because who else? They know I'm not going back.
Now let's take a look at her apology, which Andy Cohen called a very housewife apology.
The show is the Titanic. You're on a podcast last week.
I know.
You mouth off.
Hello, have you met me?
I have, but
Hi.
I know, but you've so moved past the show. You're so doing your own thing.
I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. Erica told me last night.
Okay.
I saw her in the show. I went to see
And did
Chicago.
she tell you that you hurt her feelings too?
No.
Okay. Well, do you think you might have?
Maybe.
Okay.
And I told
Because
her I
your
was
friend
sorry.
is still on the show.
I said I was sorry.
So it's not just about me.
It's not, I put my foot in my mouth. It's not that. That show's going to go on and on and on.
I mean, we happen to be having a great. You misused your words. You didn't misuse your words. I mean, I misused
Okay, it's a boat that's sinking. I don't know.
That's what you meant to say? It's a boat that's sinking and not the Titanic? I mean, we're having one of the best seasons.
I meant to say Titanic, and I said it, and I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. Let's move on.
Okay. Okay. Well, that was, I mean, you're not a housewife anymore, but that was a little bit of a old school housewife apology.
It was?
Yes, it was a non-apology apology.
No, I don't really feel bad about it, though.
What did you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I can't believe this day is finally here. Ashley Darby is finally divorced from Michael Darby. I'm Kajal Dashty. If you love things Bravo like I do, hit the follow button for more stories. Yeah, it turns out it was a done deal on Monday, February 10th, so she's been divorced for a good 24 hours now. It's obviously been a really long separation and a really long divorce process because Ashley announced her split from Michael back in April of 2022. They were together for nearly 8 years and decided to separate since they were in very different stages of their lives. Ashley then didn't file for divorce until this past November, a little more than 2 years after they separated. I know we're going to see Ashley on Love Hotel soon, which I believe will also be airing on Peacock and Bravo, but I wonder what her storyline on Real Housewives of Potomac is going to be now that she is finally done with Michael. Well, done with Michael as far as the divorce goes. Obviously, they have 2 kids together, so they will very much still be in each other's lives. If you're a fan of Real Housewives of Potomac, what do you think about this news? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. The new season of Summer House premieres tonight, and Paige DeSorbo sat down with Elle magazine just in time for the premiere. I'm Kajal Dashty. If you love all things Bravo like I do, hit the follow button for more stories. Paige gets into a lot in this article, not only about Giggly Squad and the new season of Summer House, but she kind of touches on her breakup with Craig. Paige talked about the shift in turning 30, saying that people treat you differently. They expect different things from you, and when you're a guy, they don't. She talks about the double standards she's observed, saying, I have a ton of guy friends who are turning 40, single, no kids, and it's like, you're such a hot bachelor. I mentioned I want to get a second cat, and it's like, she's crazy. The expectations in question are mostly about marriage and motherhood, and at 32, Paige is bucking any related stereotype. She's newly single, living alone in a CB2 designed dream apartment, and her career is skyrocketing. Her podcast tour with co-host Hannah Berner, who was also on Summer House with her before, sold out Radio City Music Hall twice, and the duo has an advice book coming out in April. Paige has been on Summer House since 2019, and it's where she publicly cemented her friendship with Hannah, her Giggly Squad co-host. Now, Summer House is about to premiere its 9th season. According to the journalist who wrote this Elle magazine article, she said that Paige is so busy that she barely had time to hop on a Zoom chat with me between a Galentine's-themed Amazon Live and a fitting at Christian Siriano ahead of the designer's New York Fashion Week show, where Paige would sit front row alongside Katie Holmes and Julianne Hough. Fashion lover through and through, she'll soon be launching a curated collection at DSW, much like Ariana Madix, and she teases a mystery design project coming later this year. I really feel like it's my baby, she says, noting it's been in the works for the better part of 2 years. Talking to Paige is like listening to her podcast Giggly Squad, which is to say you feel like you've gone from strangers to fast friends in about 5 minutes. Shortly after starting the interview, we're laughing about how she faked her way into the style world. The Anna Delvey of fashion, she quips about herself. Now, appropriately, Paige and Hannah's hit show gets its name from a pejorative comment that fellow Summer House castmate Kyle Cook threw at the pair while they were laughing during a dinner scene in season 4. The Giggly Squad podcast is a mix of unfiltered, lighthearted banter between 2 besties, as well as a more serious confessional conversation. Paige seems intent on closing the gap between her access as a celebrity and who she feels she is at her core, just a girl. Girl who grew up right outside of Albany, New York, falling in love with fashion because of her stylish mom and attempting to recreate the outfits she saw in magazines with Forever 21 finds. A girl who started out as an assistant to a VP at ABC News and had dreams of being a reporter. A girl who now has a massive platform, 1.4 million followers on Instagram alone, and can say the things out loud that other girls are thinking. In a September episode of Giggly Squad, Paige spoke about having a panic attack for the first time in her life right before going on stage to perform. In another, she disclosed that she had been in an abusive relationship when she was 19 years old, something that had previously been a source of shame for her. Paige said, I had the same personality back then as I do now, and I think all my friends saw me as like, oh, well, Paige is so confident and she wouldn't let a man tell her anything, but I did. After both episodes, she says she received an outpouring of support from women who had similar experiences, saying, "Our listeners really helped me more, I think, than I helped them." These conversations have created an intimacy between Paige and Giggly Squad listeners, nicknamed Gigglers, that she says she doesn't have with Summer House fans. After all, it was the Giggler FLOTUS interns who got her and Hannah an invite to the White House last year. She said, "When girls come up to me on the street, if they say they're a Giggler, I'm immediately like, we're the same person," she says. Whereas if someone comes up and says, "I love you" on Summer House, I'm like, "Thank you so much." On Summer House, people are getting a highly curated version of her, but on Giggly Squad, you're getting all of me, she says, unedited and exactly what I thought in that moment. Maybe that's why Paige sees Giggly Squad and fashion as her professional focuses rather than reality TV. She tells Elle that the podcast is her safe space and that she and Hannah will do Giggly Squad till they're literally 85. I already have tons of ideas of ways that the brand could spin off into other ventures. TV shows, a podcast network, a platform to elevate other women's voices. The sky's the limit. But when Elle asked about the future of Summer House and specifically her own longevity as a cast member, Paige is unbothered. She said, "I never tried to be on reality TV, so I'm not trying to stay on it either. It fit in my life perfectly when I started, and if it continues to fit, then I'll continue to do it." Paige understands that there will probably be a day where she isn't interested in going out to the Hamptons every single weekend and binge drinking 3 nights in a row because, as she puts it, I'll die. She also knows that with or without her, Summer House will survive because there's always going to be degenerate 20-year-olds that want to party. Maybe one day the show will be canceled. Maybe there will be a city-centric spinoff at some point, a la The Valley. She's open to it all. Now, Summer House Season 9, which premieres tonight, will be for the girls, or at least that's how Paige experienced it in real time. She says that watching fellow castmate Lindsay Hubbard, whom she has historically had a contentious relationship with, go through her first pregnancy brought them closer. Paige said, "I'd never really been around a pregnant person before where I'm seeing them weekly. We were watching her grow, asking her all of these questions." It also didn't hurt that Lindsay's pregnancy was a perfect excuse for staying in and bed rotting, the activity that Paige and fellow Summer House stars Amanda Batula and Ciara Miller tend to favor over going out, aka my spirit animals. Paige fondly recalls a moment during filming when 2 new cast members on Summer House, both women, were arguing about something while she and Lindsay stood off to the side. Paige said, "I was just like, Lindsay, they could never be us, never fight like us." It was funny to see how full circle we've really come. We had such a girl summer, and I don't think the boys really even picked up on what was going on with us. As Paige's friendships were gelling together in new and profound ways last summer, her romantic life was careening towards a fissure. Paige dated fellow Bravo star Craig Conover, a core cast member on Southern Charm, for 3 years. The pair was beloved by fans who were eager to see them move in together and get married. And then suddenly, Paige announced their breakup on her podcast at the end of December 2024. She spoke lovingly of Conover, calling him the best boyfriend she's ever had, and framing their decision to part ways as a matter of mismatched visions of the future. Paige said, "I love him. I think he loves me. I think we will remain friends. No one did anything. I think we were both just being really mature and saying what we want and what we didn't want." But being in a public relationship can be a boon for a star's personal brand, but it also comes with rabid fan surveillance, and fans are notoriously fickle. After Paige and Craig's split became public, people became ravenous, hunting for a villain. Fans deduced that Paige had been the one to initiate the breakup, and rumors began swirling. Had Paige immediately moved on with a new boyfriend? Had she cheated on Craig? On an early February episode of Giggly Squad, Paige addressed the online backlash, categorically denying it all. She said, "In the 3 years that I dated my ex-boyfriend, I never physically cheated on him, emotionally cheated on him. I did not move on with some new guy. I am single. I don't have a new boyfriend. I decided that I did not want to go forth with that relationship, but no one was blindsided. No one was cheated on." During that same podcast episode, Paige said that she wouldn't be speaking about the breakup again, but thanks to the Bravoverse, the speculation will likely continue. Viewers can retroactively trace the cracks in Paige and Craig's relationship on the current season of Southern Charm, and they will be able to do the same throughout Season 9 of Summer House. Just last week, February 6th, Craig appeared on Watch What Happens Live and spoke about the breakup from his perspective in a now viral clip, saying that they quote-unquote didn't want different things, she just wanted other people, and that's fine. A mid-season trailer for Southern Charm shows Craig talking to his castmates about the fact that he had bought an engagement ring for Paige, and a scene at the very end of the Summer House premiere is likely to raise even more eyebrows and inquiries. Paige did decline to comment on the breakup or Craig's recent comments for this interview. Instead, she focused on her next chapter both personally and professionally. When Elle asked what she might want from a future romantic partner, she does not mince words. Nothing. I want literally nothing from them. What she means is that she wants a relationship that just fits. Her panic attacks were a very big wake-up call that encouraged Paige to take stock of her life and what might not be working. She said, I feel like if you make a hard decision for yourself, the universe really does reward you. As long as I keep making decisions that are good for me and are good for my career and good for my relationships, the universe will put it on a silver platter and give it to me. This core belief helps Paige drown out the cultural noise about not being married or having kids yet. In terms of finding the right partner, she muses, quote, maybe he's busy doing something too, you know? Paige is also about to start the egg freezing process with the same doctor Lindsay used. She knows that she wants to be a mother down the road, but that road is long and winding. She said there's this thing where women aren't allowed to change their minds. And I feel that with the kid thing a lot. People being like, you said you wanted to get married and you wanted to have a baby young. And I'm like, okay, well, I used to go to a tanning bed. Whew. Get him, Paige. I don't know about you guys, but I cannot wait for Summer House. I cannot wait to see Paige on my screen. And frankly, I'm happy she did this interview, and I'm glad she kind of put things to bed as far as Craig goes. Because if there's anything I understand from all of her interviews is there is absolutely a double standard for how women get treated in a breakup versus how the man gets treated in a breakup. What did you guys think? I thought this was overall a really great interview. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Teddi Mellencamp has revealed that doctors have found multiple tumors that have been growing in her brain for 6 months. She first posted this to her stories, writing, counting down the minutes until my babies get here. As my dad said this AM, God only gives hard stuff to those of us who can handle it. It's a hard day, but I have faith in amazing surgeons and know everything will be okay. She then posted this statement onto Instagram, writing that for the last several weeks, I've been dealing with severe and debilitating headaches. Yesterday, the pain was unbearable and required hospitalization. After a CT scan and MRI, doctors found multiple tumors on my brain, which they believe have been growing for at least 6 months. 2 of the tumors will be surgically removed today. The remaining smaller tumors will be dealt with via radiation at a later date. She says, I'm blessed to be surrounded by my children, family, friends, doctors, nurses, and surgeons who are doing everything possible to get me back into better health. Thank you to everybody who's reached out and to everyone who supported me along this journey. Now, she made no mention whether these tumors are malignant or benign, malignant meaning they're cancerous. Hopefully that is not the case. She followed up the statement with a video of what looks like 2 of her friends shaving her hair, preparing her for surgery, and ooh, I feel for Teddi Mellencamp.
This look on my bucket list.
Love you, babe. You got this. Might be your best look yet.
My best look.
Sending lots of love and prayers to Teddi. I'm a cancer survivor myself. I cannot imagine the fear and of the unknown at the stage of her diagnosis. So I'm hoping that these surgeries are successful and that hopefully this is the start to the end of a really scary journey. I literally have not been able to think about anything but this last scene from last night's Summer House premiere. You know, cameras picked back up when Paige and Craig announced their breakup. And since the breakup's been announced, there have been a slew of rumors saying that Paige cheated on Craig. We're honestly just shaming her for moving on from a relationship that was not benefiting either of them. A lot of those comments I've even seen in my comment section. But this says a lot. I couldn't find the clip, but Paige says, I'm like, Craig, what are you talking about? I feel like you're so betraying me right now. You're going to let people say that I'm a cheater? I caught you texting 2 bitches in the course of our relationship. Now you're dead to me. I mean, I'm a fan of Craig on Southern Charm, but my goodness, the man is known for lying, and he is not a wounded little bird. Because the fact that he was texting women while in a relationship with Paige speaks more volumes about him. I have to ask, if you're like Team Craig in this breakup, does this kind of change your mind or change your opinion of him? Because here's my thing, if your response is going to be like, well, she was wasting his time, he wanted kids, he wanted marriage, she was very consistent in saying she didn't want marriage and she didn't want kids right now, but she wanted them down the road. So by that, I mean, he could have just broken up with her earlier if he was really gung-ho about wanting to settle down and have kids. But personally, I wouldn't want to settle down and have kids with someone who's texting bitches in the relationship. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Blake Lively's legal team has now filed a subpoena for Justin Baldoni's phone records amid their ongoing It Ends With Us lawsuit. According to a statement that her lawyers made, Blake is pursuing the filing to expose the people, tactics, and method that have worked to destroy and bury her reputation and family over the past year. Which that line feels like they're gaslighting us. Like, have you not seen any of Blake Lively's interviews or press junkets? Like, it's She is her own worst enemy, but okay. A spokesperson for Blake Lively told People that subpoenas had already been sent to AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile for Justin Baldoni, as well as crisis PR expert Melissa Nathan and publicist Jennifer Abel to expose the full web of lies and the alleged smear campaign against Blake Lively. The spokesperson further emphasized the validity of the subpoena request, saying the information requested could provide critical and irrefutable evidence not only about who, but also about when, where, and how their retaliation plan came together and operated. In response, Justin Baldoni's lawyer Brian Friedman told the outlet that the parties have reached an ordinary part of the litigation process, while Blake's lawyers are coming forward with an extraordinary request. He said they're asking for every single call, text, data log, and even real-time location information for the past 2.5 years, regardless of the sender, recipient, or subject matter. This massive fishing expedition demonstrates that they're desperately seeking any factual basis for their provably false claims. They will find none. The way this is going, I don't see this not going to trial. Another celebrity lawsuit seems to be in the works. The late Stephen Twitch boss's mom says that their family is seeking legal action against his widow, Allison Hoker, over allegations she's made about him since his passing. According to Connie, which is Twitch's mom, she said that due to the unproven statements published in Allison's memoir, we have decided to seek legal counsel to examine this matter. There are a lot of unanswered questions and we want answers. In her statement, Connie said her family was, quote, completely appalled by the misleading accounts and inconsistencies included in Allison's memoir that was released on February 5th. Connie's statement continued. She said, as a family, we've repeatedly shown compassion toward Allison, despite her disrespectful and evasive actions since Stephen's passing. Her portrayal of Stephen appears to reshape his story into a narrative that aligns with her perspective. She stated that Stephen did not deserve this treatment, and her accounts cause us to doubt everything she's uttered publicly and privately. What do you guys think? Do you agree with Twitch's mom that Allison should not have shared these quote-unquote revelations about Twitch after his passing? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.